This mare looks to be facing easier, coming in from the big track of Woodbine Mohawk Park. Like you said, 8 wins, plus the 6 runner-up finishes, and as that big gate blast, I don't see anything going with this in the early going right off the car. I see her trying to go all the way in the season opener.
Yeah, and look, a horse that's been racing at a mare that's been racing at Mohawk, but also I've seen so much of Jody Collins' barn over at Flamborough Downs, and so a lot of regard for the barn. Made 50,000 this year
Mhm.
at Wifey said so in 20 starts. So you go outside post 8. It's not like we're at Western Fair now where you can just take an 8 horse and be sitting there. Well, actually, yeah, the 8 would be the trailer post at London. Boy, I'm
Sure.
flying here. But, an outside post at Flamborough where you wouldn't likely have even money. Your next pick is number 5, the Hart Valley. That's my top one.
Yeah, I like this daughter of state treasurer. When she came to London in the fall, she was winning most of her races when on the lead, but she's becoming a little more versatile over the last month or so, racing off the pace and winning. And like best mark, two back. So really, never better than now. Your top selection, number 5, the Hart Valley.
One thing to note, Gerard Demers had this mare and had this mare back April 11th, won at London, and then was out of his hands for a couple of starts and got this horse back and a couple of wins in a second. So Gerard Demers has it going with the Hart Valley, and Daryl Teeson's been having a good year.
Yeah, Daryl, heck of a meet over there in London. And one thing about Daryl, he loves to put them in play. If they've got gate speed, you can count on Daryl trying to have them up close. He didn't mind that outside post 7 in London either. Anytime he had some gate blasters from post 7, I watched him do the old killer crossover move and make the lead prior to the opening turn numerous times.
I want to look at quickly one Honey So Sweet on the inside. A lot of recent form coming in.
Yeah, Honey So Sweet for Team Sumner. They don't have a big barn, but they spend a lot of time with their horses. Of course, Ladies from Hell had a great run again, starting out 2025 here in London. And now this is another Honey So Sweet that they picked up early on this season. And already a couple of wins, couple of seconds, couple of thirds. She's a really good play if she can get off the rail, Gary.
You know who might be a sleeper in here? We lost the 6, so that's your fourth choice. How about number 4, All Star Finest? Because Jared Mann has been able to get this one going.
Yeah, All Star Finest, a good gate blasting type horse. Austin Sorey back in Ontario. He did a quick trip to his home province of Prince Edward Island. He was winning a race. Won a race last night, Summerside, PEI, and hoping no jet lag. Just a short trip from PEI back to Ontario.
And Austin's got a 340 driving average this year. Drives a lot, and he's really been rolling. So Austin with All Star Finest could be a sleeper play at 6-1 as the horses are getting ready to move in behind the gate. And look, Wifey said so is holding at 4-5. That is your top pick, and I went to the Hart Valley. I'm trying to find some value to get things rolling right away, but Wifey said so, Jody Cullen. And any other thought? What about My Maserati? That was a horse that was racing well at Flamborough and then has kind of fallen off the last couple, but they were both tougher posts.
You know what, Gary? I just don't see it for that one. There does not appear to be a whole lot of gate speed. And like we talked about it starting up earlier on in the show, those inside posts don't do the horses much for favors there at Grand River.
Yeah, the one thing about J.R. Plant, he can get some gate speed if you he can get a horse off the gate. But look, it's a field of 7 now. We're ready for race number 1. They're taking up their positions. It's Honey So Sweet, My Maserati on the inside. In the center, Little T, All Star Finest in the Hart Valley. To the outside, Jules Diamond Eyes and Wifey Said So. It's a field of 7. Race number 1, first dash. Field for the first race. is at the start of the rough. Wifey Said So is going to come out blasting, but the Heart Valley's got the early lead. Little T on the inside. Well, center of the track is third. Honey So Sweet's racing position fourth. My Maserati, All-Star Finest, and Jules Diamond Eyes. And Wifey Said So continues to drive on the outside. Wifey Said So, the Heart Valley. Honey So Sweet is racing third. And fourth is Little T. My Maserati, All-Star Finest, and Jules Diamond Eyes. Wifey Said So's got the lead as they race past a quarter of 27-3. And second is the Heart Valley. Then Honey So Sweet is racing position to third as they come on past us. And fourth is Little T. And now moving up on the outside is All-Star Finest. And All-Star Finest has come on to take over fourth now. Fifth on the inside is Little T. Then it is My Maserati and Jules Diamond Eyes. Into the backstretch they go, and still Wifey Said So is leading, and the Heart Valley's racing second, half of 57. Honey So Sweet is third. All-Star Finest to the outside is grinding first over. Little T is locked on the inside fifth. Jules Diamond Eyes sixth, and My Maserati is trailing the field. Wifey Said So at 2-1 is still leading, but the Heart Valley is right there bravening up in the pocket as those two have a bit of separation, showering third. Honey So Sweet on the inside with All-Star Finest, and there goes Heart Valley popping out of the pocket right now, and it is the Heart Valley coming after Wifey Said So. Pair of 2-1 shots trying to settle things. 3/4 a lively 125-4, and the Heart Valley is making headway, but Wifey Said So is still game. Down the stretch drive they come. We've got a battle in the first race. On down the stretch, Wifey Said So for now has turned back the Heart Valley. Wifey Said So coming to the finish. Wifey Said So, the Heart Valley, was second. Then Honey So Sweet and Jules Diamond Eyes. Race number 154-2. Off to a quick start to 2025 at Grand River Raceway. And Sugar, you're off to a start with picking the winner in race number 1 at 2-5. We had a bit of a battle there.
Yeah, it was a pretty good final quarter duel between the 5 and 8, 8-5. That was the lineup right off the car. And you know what? Pretty good exactor coming back on those two. I think it's around $14 even with the 8 on top. And Wifey Said So, 9-time winner now already this season.
And you know, you had some big shoes to fill, filling in, taking over from Robert Reed. And you start off with the straight try, 8-5-1. So your pick's pretty solid. The 6 was scratched. Otherwise, you could have maybe given me a super.
You know what? I'm surprised both those mares going away at 2-1. Pretty good win odds on both of them. And again, the exactor, nothing wrong with that at all. I think it's coming back at $14.
And you know, heading around on that final turn, I kind of thought maybe I was going to get the better of you with the Heart Valley, but we see that horses sent up by Jody Cullen, they don't tire in the stretch. They're able to keep on going.
Yeah, that mare was lasting on the lead, and just maybe a bit of a class edge over the rest of them in there, coming in from the big track of Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Yeah, well, there's your first race dash, and Sugar, now that you've set the bar, having the straight try here in the first race, you're going to have to keep it going.
We'll certainly try.
Rolling back in front of us will be the winner of race number 1. Number 8, Wifey Said So. Wifey Said So is a 5-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay mare owned by Keith Hanna and Ron and Travis Cullen. Jody Cullen is the trainer. Travis Cullen, the winning driver. 9th win on the year for Wifey Said So. 9th win in 21 starts for Wifey Said So this year. 14th win lifetime. 154-2. The first race payouts, number 8, Wifey said so, $6, $3.20, $2.60. 5, the Heart Valley, $3.80, $2.41. Honey So Sweet, $2.50. $2 exactor, $13.80. Dollar Try, $25. Dollar Super, $168.65. 20-cent Super, $33.73. The first race order finish from the top down is a 36572 scratch 4-1. Once again from the top down, 36572 scratch 4-1. Second race is up next. Post time is in 4 minutes. A field of 6 with no changes.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks, we are back. Race number 2, race 1 in the books. Sharp winner, gate to wire. Travis Cullen on board. Wifey said so for Strainer mom, Jody Cullen. And yeah, the class certainly showing up there, holding off the Hart Valley from the pocket. But over to race number 2, starting up, another one of those go-to wagers at Grand River Raceway, that being the early pick 4. Here's another guaranteed pool, $2,500. Myself here, I'm going to go 3 deep the opening lag. We're using the rail horse, All Star Bruiser, trying to break that maiden, also including the 5, Harbor Light Jimmy. Just has to mind his manners there. He showed nice speed on the end of his latest over London, 28 flat on the end of his 158 and 1 mile to be 4th there. Number 6, Snowport. Travis Cullen, likely to maybe send another one for the outside gate here. Snowport, a gray son of Huntsville, opens up here at 8-5. For sure, one to include in that opening leg of this early pick 4. We're going to go 3 deep in the third. Golden Leader, making the second start back off a brief layoff. Mitch Tierney, Training Dale Spence on board, a speed threat there from post 2, also including 3, Chocolate for lunch, and going outside to the 6, Mystic Wild Rose, 2, 3, and 6. And then deepest of all, still looking for maybe a price player to show up there in a wide open 4th race. We're on the 2, 4, 6, and 7. Land of Paradise, Redland Bethany, Jean, Grand Circuit, Big Nipper for maybe a big price, and Horner there from post 7. On the end of it, final lag, we're using 3, Archie, and then we'll include the first-time starter from the trailing spot, number 9, Carson's Buck and Go. 3 and 9 for me on the end of the early pick 4 play. A $14.40 wager if you care to play along, 20 cents. All righty, Gary Guy now with the pick 4 play as well. Early pick 4. Gary, back to you.
I don't know if I could top your picks at all. Look at one thing. There's a difference in how much money we're spending. I'm only in for $1.60. All-Star Bruiser,
wow,
in race number 2, and then right away in the third dash and the rest of the way through I pair up. So Golden Leader and Dangerous Curves, and then I'm moving to the inside. Sobel, Lila, and Land of Paradise in the 4th. And then just a couple, your top 2 that I'm using in race number 5, so I'm with you there, Archie and Carson's Buck and Go. But I'm just not spending the money. I'm saving it because I'm going to be here all meet, or at least until they decide to get a real announcer in. I should be here for at least a month or so.
Oh, Gary, you know, for a little tune-up, I went back and caught some replays from a few cards last season where you mentioned to Robert that he's kind of wide and you're kind of thin. Well, it's kind of that way here this evening, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little wider than I was last year, I got to tell you. It's been a bad winter.
That Sobel Lila you're using in race number 4, you know, I chased her many times already this season in London. Just a one-time winner, though she got the victory lane 15 times last season.
Field is on the track for the post parade. Sugar, we'll be talking back in a few seconds, and the post parade is the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. Number 1 is All-Star Bruiser, Todd Ratchford for Paul McDonnell, Mike Saftik, and DOP Racing. Number 2 is Cleveland Enzo, Paul McKenzie for Gary McDonald and Christina Soundy. Number 3 is Roman Gladiator, Sammy Fillier for Terry Gallant and Bill Maines and William Cripps and Steve Papillion. Number 4 is All-Star Commander, Brett McDonough for Steve Watson and All-Star Farms. Number 5 is Harbor Light Jimmy, Damian McClellan for Kyle Bossens and Ralph Jardine. And number 6 is Snowport, Travis Cullen for Ashley Lenvoy and Gino Toscani. Field of 6, race number 2 starts the pick 4. And Sugar, I also want to mention that we haven't seen the paddock cam for this race because we spilled on into the post parade. But the paddock camera this year is brought to us by the Ontario Education and Employment Program, so I want to make sure they get their plug in. And all season long, they'll be our sponsor, as well as the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals sponsoring our post parade. Got some sponsors, and we've got a second race to take a look at. And, All-Star Bruiser sitting at 4-5.
Odds-on choice, right? Rail advantage, maybe. Does show a bit of gate speed over the big track at Woodbine Mohawk Park, but first time ever away from the bigger track. He's never been on a half miler, never been on a 5/8, so new surroundings for this one.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of concerning, I'd have trouble taking a horse at 4-5 off those first 2 starts at Mohawk, but that still, it didn't stop me. Did it slow you down at all?
It would be slowing me down right about now. I expected this one to take action, not though odds on. I mean, you're wanting to get 6-5, maybe even 5-2 on this one. This horse is over 160-1 last time out, Gary.
Yeah, and but we've seen all last year horses come in from Mohawk and then they translate very well coming in here. So All-Star Bruiser, and you do see the speed down the page. So look, Snowport, I should tell you, last time out at Flamborough, I made this one my top pick and missed by 3/4 of a length. And Snowport has kind of come on nicely in the last few races, and it's only a field of 6, so post really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think Travis will be sending this one out there, looking for a spot up close. Will be on or near the lead, and like you mentioned, wasn't really giving up a whole lot in the late going. Gave up the lead, was third by 2, turning for home, but actually gained a bit more through the stretch mile. So definitely was not giving up totally, was fighting on right to the finish. And as you mentioned, seems to be improving all the time in recent starts.
Yeah, and we do see the speed last year as well. Shows racing in 54 and 1 and a few 54 and change miles also. Others to get a quick look at here. Number 5, Harbor Light Jimmy, is one that's had 14 tries without a win, but last race did come home in 57-3.
Yeah, I don't mind this colt. All he's got to do is mind his manners. You can see a few X's throughout his card. If Damian McClellan can keep this one close, the son of McWickett might have a big kick on the end of it. Again, 28 flat on his final quarter in London. That's pretty good speed over the half miler.
Yeah, and then we'll quickly squeeze in a thought on All-Star Commander, Brett McDonough for Steve Watson. 24 kicks at the can without a win. The thing to note about last race, though, is off of being vet sick, it did close well.
I do like passing a few horses and gaining almost 10 lengths through that final half. So definitely one to be looking for at a price, 12-1.
Roman Gladiator is one that's coming in here, at least qualified here, and has had 2 qualifiers to get ready. Roman Gladiator is sitting at 7-1. Any thoughts on that one?
I want to see him a few times over Grand River Raceway. The qualifier, it's okay. He got him to the races, but I want to see him once.
Well, we're going to see all 6 horses here once in this second race as they are taking their positions in behind the gate. It'll be All-Star Bruiser and Cleveland Enzo on the inside. In the center, Roman Gladiator and All-Star Commander. To the outside, Harbor Light Jimmy and Snowport. Field for race number 2. Is into position, gathering speed, approaching the start. Field for the second race is at the start of the rough, and Snowport shovels from the outside. Roman Gladiator on the inside. All-Star Bruiser. All-Star Bruiser broke stride. Snowport now is able to get that lead and is in front by 2 1/4. Roman Gladiator is second. Then Harborlight Jimmy is racing position to third. Then it is Cleveland Enzo on the outside sharing fourth with All-Star Bruiser, who has recovered and is fourth on the inside. Then Cleveland Enzo and All-Star Commander is back trailing the field. 27-4 opening quarter, and it is Snowport and Travis Cullen who's got the lead, looks for the double, and leads Roman Gladiator by a length and a half with Harborlight Jimmy on the inside third, then All-Star Bruiser, Cleveland Enzo, and All-Star Commander. They race their way up towards the half off that 27-4 opening quarter. Snowport leading and All-Star Bruiser racing up closer. All-Star Bruiser has recovered from an early break and has taken the lead and is in front by half a length. Now a length and a quarter. Tries to clear to the front off that 57-4 halftime, but Snowport now is going to fight back on the inside, and Snowport has come right back on now, and Snowport has reclaimed the lead. All-Star Bruiser is second. Roman Gladiator is third. Then Harborlight Jimmy back to All-Star Commander and Cleveland Enzo. 3/4 in 1:26. Snowport, All-Star Bruiser hasn't gone away though. Harborlight Jimmy 3 wide is coming now, and Roman Gladiator is racing fourth, and then Cleveland Enzo and All-Star Commander. Harborlight Jimmy as the field turns for home. Harborlight Jimmy, as they come on down the stretch drive, is going to pull the second race upset at 8-1. Snowport is going to finish second. Then it was Cleveland Enzo and Roman Gladiator 156-1. We get a bit of a price horse down in the second race. Harborlight Jimmy taking advantage of the battle between All-Star Bruiser and Snowport, Shannon.
Yeah, it's set up perfect for him, Gary. We mentioned all he had to do was mind his manners and try to stay close. And I kind of felt around that final turn, he is close enough. Let's see some kick. And sure enough, he had a big one on the end of it. Maiden mark here, 156-1.
Yeah, we mentioned even though winless in 14 starts, that last race, he had a 57-3 back half last time out at London as the meet came to an end there. So he showed that closing kick in that last 28-second final quarter.
Yeah, he was always showing some talent. Just those X's throughout the program lines likely scared a few away, and that's why you're getting 8-1 value. Certainly is going to help out those multi-leg wagers with an 8-1 price here in race 2.
Also, what Robert taught me last year, it's not so much who wins, it's who gets knocked out. And All-Star Bruiser went off at 2-5 and is out of those multi-legs. And that early break did a nice job to recover, though.
He did, and you know what? We did mention first time ever away from the big track, never on a half, never on a 5/8, and he seemed to have a little size on the rest of the field too. Might be a little too big, but you know what? He looked like he was recovering fine, but final turn came, and that was it for the heavy favorite.
Yeah, and Snowport got softened up by All-Star Bruiser. It still was a very credible effort by Snowport. We get a 5-6-2-3. Top four, an 80-1 shot for third, so that will help it. Coming back in front of us is number 5, Harborlight Jimmy. Harborlight Jimmy is a 3-year-old McWicked Bay Colt owned by Ralph Jardine and Kyle Bossens. Kyle Bossens is the trainer, and the winning drive to Damian McClellan. Harborlight Jimmy, 156-1 to take the career mark. First lifetime win. The second race payouts. 5 Harbor Light Jimmy, 1960, 380, 270. 6 Snowport, 360, 252. Cleveland Enzo, 1010. $2 Exactor, 62.70. Dollar Try, 256.40. And 20-cent Super, 721.66. $2 double of 8 and 5, 79.60. The second race order of finish from the top downs of 5 3 4 6 1 2. That's 5 3 4 6 1 2 on the bottom. Horses coming out of the paddock for the third race post parade. There's a look from the paddock camera, the Ontario Education and Employment Program paddock camera. Field for the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. One is American Land, Scott Young for Catherine Flanagan and Winters Racing. Number 2 is Golden Leader, Dale Spence for Mitchell Tierney and Lynn Cameron. And number 3 is Chocolate for Lunch, Phil Hudon for Derek Anderson and Scott Mason. Four is Dangerous Curves, Tyler Moore for Rod Boyd and McCann Stables. Number 5 is MVP Kamala, Garrett Rooney for Ernest Party. And number 6, Mystic Wild Rose, Sammy Filia for Melissa Lamoureux. Field of 6, race number 3. Let's get a look at this field. We're just a few minutes to post time. And number 2, Golden Leader. We both land on that one, Shannon. And look, Golden Leader is one that's had just one start off of a layoff, had been off since March the 6th. So a little bit of an excuse for just finishing 4th last race. But the latter part of the mile was fairly decent.
Yeah, did finish up well, was sitting 8th, 12 lengths back at 3/4. So was able to gain a half dozen lengths and pass 4 horses. So a really nice return. It's going to be second time for trainer Mitch Tierney here this evening. This one I know well from London. She always liked to show that early speed, but she now shows she can show some kick at the end when racing from off the pace. And we've already seen 2 tonight. We've seen a gate to wire winner. We've seen 1 kick home from off the pace. So win from anywhere tonight on opening night at Grand River Raceway.
Yeah, and Golden Leader was one that was a good earner last year. Made 44,000 in 28 starts. And last year, when looking at these horses, this is the earnings leader in terms of last year. Things have been a little thinner this year, but we'll see if now the second start back. Number 6, Mystic Wild Rose, is also one that was 8th at 3/4 and came on in the latter stages of the last start.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from this one tonight. There's some early speed possibly, and that 6-hole. I don't mind that for one that can kick off the car a bit. 2-1. I don't know. I was thinking maybe 3-1, 7-2 for this one in here right now. I'm just saying, in my opinion, she's overbet.
Yeah, and the thing about last time out, 31 seconds in the opening quarter, and then the rest of the mile was very good. The problem is also taking a low price, one that is 1 win in 37 starts. In fact, if you look across the board, second and third, it's a little bit light with Mystic Wild Rose, but Sammy Filia, Melissa Lamoureux, strong connections, getting favorite status. Wow, on Mystic Wild Rose. Number 3, Chocolate for Lunch. Well, Chocolate for Lunch is one also that improved last time out.
Yeah, had some pretty good hands on board with Tyler Borth hopping on. Took a little bit of action there to the tune of 7-1. Sweet Cheese Us. I believe that might have been a new mark for that mare. That's a quick mile over London, 156 flat, and this one was clocking a trip in 56-4. So I might bump that one up to my exactor spot right now, and I can see she's starting to take some late action.
Well, Chocolate for Lunch is your third one, and one that you did include in your pick 5, and one that you're still alive on that pick 5, even with the 5 out of the second race. That was good handicapping. I went Dangerous Curves as my second choice, but boy, you have to look a little further back to try to find Dangerous Curves.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing any early speed whatsoever for this one, so it's going to have to come from off the pace. Though Tyler Moore,
Yeah.
be looking for the daughter of sports writer late at 7-2.
Well, Dangerous Curves did win here in 153 last year, so at least has a victory over this track. It is American Land and Golden Leader on the inside. Chocolate for Lunch and Dangerous Curves in the center. MVP Kamala and Mystic Wild Rose on the outside. Field of 6 for race number 3. Field for the third. Is at the start of the rough. Dangerous Curves with Golden Leader. Then American Land on the inside. Chocolate for Lunch and Mystic Wild Rose. And MVP Kamala is trailing the field. But Golden Leader is the early leader as they race their way on up to the opening quarter. That's Dangerous Curves, who's out well and plugged in second. American Land is third. And then Chocolate for Lunch and Mystic Wild Rose and MVP Kamala, Golden Leader, as they race their way off the turn, heading up towards us. 27-2 opening panel. Dangerous Curves is getting the trip on the back of Golden Leader. Pair of 2-1 shots with the top 2 spots, and American Land at 23-1 is third. Then Chocolate for Lunch has deserted the pylons and is coming to the outside. Then it is back to Mystic Wild Rose and MVP Kamala. Up at 27-2 opening quarter. Field heads up towards the half. Golden Leader. Chocolate for Lunch on the outside. Dueling with Dangerous Curves, but Dangerous Curves with inside advantage and filling the pocket. Holds on to second right now. Chocolate for Lunch is third. Then it is American Land. Mystic Wild Rose has still got a lot of work to do and is second last. And MVP Kamala is currently trailing the field, and they race their way on by 3/4. Golden Leader leads it by a length and 3/4, and Dangerous Curves is second. Chocolate for Lunch third. 3/4, 125-1. And Golden Leader is still well in hand right now to Dale Spence and leads by 2.5. Dangerous Curves is held on to second. American Land now is landed third. Then Chocolate for Lunch and Mystic Wild Rose and MVP Kamala. But Golden Leader is widening out the margin. Golden Leader, Dangerous Curves trying to fend off American Land for second. But Golden Leader is going to win. Then American Land picks up second. Then it was Mystic Wild Rose and MVP Kamala. Mile time 154-2. Golden Leader. Well, Flash, that early speed was the early leader, and it was kind of lights out for the field when they turned for home.
Wow, what a trip, Gary. She's just missing her lifetime best of 154 flat over the big track of Woodbine Mohawk Park. Now, I was a little bit nervous when that 4-horse did show early speed and had the 2-hole ride at the quarter pole. I was thinking, I don't have this 4 in my multi-legs, but Golden Leader, second time for the Mitch Tierney barn, brings the A game and paces away from them.
Yeah, and then we're looking at Dangerous Curves kind of backing off the picture there. Was good for a little more than 7/8 of a mile, but maybe one to look into next time out because that we could put on the watch list was good for a long way. American Land is going to help the ticket because came on to the exactor ticket at 23-1. We get it 2-1-6. Mystic Wild Rose did come on late to pick up third.
Yeah, you know what? You should get a big price on this one American Land. First on the board finish in a couple of years.
Yeah, well, and even in a field of 6, 23-1, and when you get the horse winning at 2-1, yeah, I mean it wasn't the favorite, but you still want to at least tack on a price. So we've had a couple of upset prices here in races at 2 and 3 now.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. Price players, some favorites, a good mix of everything, and again, an all-pace opening night at Grand River.
And you're still alive in your pick 5, trying to. It'd be great. It'd be great to nail the very first pick 5 of the 2025 calendar. I'm not in it, but you are.
Well, we just gonna hope the good times can continue to roll here. You mentioned rock and roll, the start of the night. Let's do it.
Coming back in front of us, one that did do it was Golden Leader. Golden Leader in race number 3. 8-year-old Big Jim black mare, owned by Lynn Cameron, trained by Mitchell Tierney. It is the second win this year, 26th lifetime. Dale Spence driving Golden Leader to victory in 154 and 2/5 of a second off of her career best. Third race payout to Golden Leader, 610, 390, 280, 1. American Land, 1580 and 720. 6 Mystic Wild Rose, 280. $2 Exactor, 52.50. Dollar Tribe, 90.05. Dollar Super, 1684.15. 20-cent Super, 336.83. The third race, or her finish from the top, is a 2-1-6-5-4-3. That's 2-1-6-5-4-3 on the bottom.
I'm Natasha Day. I train and drive harness racing horses at London, Ontario. These are my main products that I use in my racehorse barn that are all Omega Alpha, the Biotic 8, the Immune Plus, the Anti-Flam, which is great for the horses after they've had a hard day racing. The Biotic 8, I swear by it. Get all the dapples out, gets the old coat out, gets everything pumping and moving and makes the shine really come out.
field for race number 4 on Post Parade, the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals Parade, and one is Sobel Lila. Jason Ryan for Otis Hall and Sobel Hill Farms and Susseto Racing. Number 2 is Land of Paradise, Paul McKenzie for Lindsay Kerr and Jeffrey Mayhew. Number 3 is Carson's Gouda, Louis Gregg for Vicky Gregg and David Carson. Number 4 is Redland Bethany Jean, Travis Henry for Tyler Moore and Redland Farms. And number 5 is Stonebridge Drama, Brett McDonough for Jared Mann and Allison Hepburn. Number 6 Grand Circuit, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and A1 Stable. And number 7 is Big Nipper, Mike Horner, drives for Doug Wilson and Mark Horner. And number 8 is Amelia Fromage, Todd Ratchford for Harry Martin. Field of 8 for race number 4. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, Sugar, you're still alive in the pick 5. You got 3 of them in here. Went with the even numbers 4, 2, and 6. I want to start with number 4, Redland Bethany Jean. You got this one on top. Not worried about those last 2 starts at Mohawk?
I'm not worried about it. I think she's got a bit of a class edge on many of them in here, and leaving right behind the car, post 4. Travis Henry staying on to drive. I liked her up in London. She raced against some really nice mares up there. Her latest over London was against the preferred type. So for me, this looks to be an easier spot, a second choice right now, but the more I looked at this race, the more I was thinking, wow, I'd love to have the all button in here for leg 4, that pick 5.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a comparison, April the 16th at Western Fair against a similar class and was second, beaten 3.5 in that one. Made a big sweeping 3-wide move in that race. Number 2, Land of Paradise. I've been shocked all the way through the betting cycle on the price of this one. You get Lindsay Kerr. Look, Lindsay Kerr always puts up big numbers. And Land of Paradise last time out. What did she do in this class?
Yeah, I like her. She's a winner last time out. And look, she's 12 for 14, top 3 finishes. Many from the Lindsay Kerr barn over London were hitting the top 3 on a regular basis. So Land of Paradise, definitely one to consider in here. And the price is right, 15 to 1.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. I got to believe this will at least come down to single digits. That certainly is the value play right now. No value on number 6, Grand Circuit. It's Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen, but you seldom get value betting one coming out of the Cullen barn because, well, they get the job done, and this has been a solid earner the last couple seasons.
True enough. At or around this level, you would know back in Flamborough, late April, was a gate-to-wire winner there, and it was only paying back $240 on a win price. So likely to go away as a heavy favorite, but I see this race as very deep.
Yeah, and look, even though Grand Circuit's been a pretty solid earner, of late, the last couple miles weren't that great. And yeah, Grand Circuit, I don't believe lays over this field, so I don't think I'd be all that excited about 8 to 5. One that I'm surprised that you're on at the bottom spot on your ticket is number 7, Big Nipper. Well, but look, it certainly brings in the form, but the problem is win shy this year.
Right. Just 1 win, but 7 runner-up finishes. I liked her because she showed lots in her last 2. She's been flying home. Now, the pace has got to be quick. It's got to set up for her. But here's another one. You're getting 20 to 1 on a mare that is very sharp for Team Horner.
And you know, one horse that I also want to get to is number 1, Sobel Lila, because this is a race where you and I clearly differ. I've got Sobel Lila on top. 15 wins last year, 1 win this year. You've been watching this mare more than I have. What do you make of Sobel Lila?
I've been watching her. I've been chasing her all of 2025. I put her in the top spot in my selections in London since January, but she just really never broke on through like she did last season. putting up 15 victories, just a one-time winner this season. But another one where the price is right. I mean, this is a great betting board, Gary, and there's still time.
Robert and I talked last year. Sometimes a horse gets on your own personal list, and it's not the racing list. It's because you take them on top and they disappoint you until they get on the bad list. You need to see a win. I'm banking on seeing it right here with Sabo Lila, Shannon. Sabo Lila, Land of Paradise. Carson's Good on the inside. In the center, Redland Bethany Jean and Stumpage Drama. To the outside, Grand Circuit, Big Nipper, and Milio Fromage. Field of 8. Race number 4 on a Wednesday night at Grand River Raceway. And the field for race number 4. All in position. Gathering speed approaching the start. They're at the start of the round in Redland Bethany Jean. We'll come up with Stumpage Drama and Carson's Gouda. Land of Paradise, Sabo Lila on the inside now is out to take over 4th as Stumpage Drama is 5th. And then it is back to Grand Circuit, Big Nipper and Milio Fromage. Redland Bethany Jean trying to clear to the front. Now has made the lead over Carson's Gouda. And Land of Paradise is 3rd. Then 4th away is Sabo Lila. They race on past that opening quarter to a lively 26-3. Then Stumpage Drama is racing 5th as the field heads their way on up towards us. Then it is back to Grand Circuit, Big Nipper and Milio Fromage. Redland Bethany Jean off a lively opening panel leads at a length and a half. Carson's Good is plugged into the pocket. Land of Paradise right now has 3rd. And now working first over, Sabo Lila giving cover to Stumpage Drama. Then it is back to Grand Circuit. Big Nipper, Milio Fromage. 56-1 halftime. 4 to the inside, 4 to the outside. And they're chasing Redland Bethany Jean. Even money on the board. And leads by 2. Carson's Good is 2nd. Sabo Lila. Grinding first over. Stumpage Drama is going to roll off the cover of Sabo Lila. And now Stumpage Drama wants to add some drama to the 4th race. And on the inside, Land of Paradise. Then it is Grand Circuit and Big Nipper and Milio Fromage. Redland Bethany Jean. Carson's Good has been getting a trip. Stumpage Drama now has moved up and taken over 2nd. Carson's Good 3rd. Land of Paradise and Sabo Lila and Grand Circuit, then Big Nipper and Milio Fromage, but it's still Redland Bethany Jean. Up 3/4, 124-2. Carson's Good tries to find a seam up the inside of the passing lane. Redland Bethany Jean, Carson's Good. Redland Bethany Jean holds on to win it. Well, wins by a length and a half, and then Carson's Good and Land of Paradise 153-1. Redland Bethany Jean did drop down to even money, but did live up to that even money status. And your top pick, Sugar.
Certainly did live up to favorite status in there. Took a ton of late action, Gary. This mare for me, she had the class edge on them, and boy, did she show up tonight. New life best of 153-1, and she paid the price to take control there. 26-3, ambitious early fractions for the mare.
I kind of thought off that 26-3 she might be vulnerable late, but you see the finish not vulnerable at all, really, because it still seemed to have quite a bit in reserve.
Yeah, she was all right. Louis' horse there that had a 2-hole ride, just a little bit short. She's going to be all right in another start or two. That was just her 2nd start back off the layoff. Nice closing 3rd there by one that you liked, Land of Paradise with Mackenzie.
Yeah, we mentioned about the price in that one, 8-1 on the board and sent up by Lindsay Kerr. I didn't really understand that. It comes at 4-3-2-5, just managed to take away. Stumpage Drama actually is one that gave a pretty big showing, and maybe one we can think about and come back to next time, because I thought Stumpage Drama raced a lot better, and really the last race didn't do anything over there at Western Fair.
100%, Gary. She was making me real nervous going into the final turn, but as mentioned, this mare, Redland Bethany Jean, certainly showed up tonight.
Well, you're still alive in the pick 5, the first pick 5
Let's
of the
go.
season. Yes, and we'll get to see the probables, but back in front of us, your top pick in race number 4, Redland Bethany Jean. 5-year-old Artspeak Bay mare, owned by Redland Farms. Tyler Moore is the trainer. Travis Henry is the winning driver. 3rd win on the year. 17th lifetime, Redland Bethany Jean. The fourth race payouts for Redland, Bethany, Jean, 420, 410, 290. 3 Carson's Good is 740 and 450, and 2 Land of Paradise 320. $2 exactor 41.50. Dollar Tribe 98.80. Dollar Super 370.85. 20-cent Super 74.17. Out 3/4, 124 and 2. Carson's Gouda tries to find a seam up the inside. The fourth race order of finish from the time is a 732-14856. That's 732-14856 on the bottom. Fifth race is up next. Post times in 3 minutes. And fans noted race 6, the claim at number 5, I Wish I Had a Me. Race 6, claim entered 5, I Wish I Had a Me. Field leaving the paddock, and our paddock view brought to you by the Ontario Education and Employment Program. Field for the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. 1 is Miss Sophia Rose, Jason Rye for Mark Goddard and William Brown. Number 2 is Stonebridge Impish, Terry Fritz drives and trains and owns. 3 is Archie, J.R. Plot for Tess Waxman and Ralph and Sandra Pitt. 4 is Cincinnatus, Phil Hudon for Derek Anderson and Gordon Mason. 5, Stonebridge Alien, Travis Henry for Sean, Stacy and Hudson Stenebres and Nancy Malik. And Landmark 17 Racing. Number 6 is Jour de Rêve, Jason Ryan for Gerard Demarais and Rosaire Renault. And number 7, Benjamin B, Scott Quiller, Kenny Oliver. It is Regal Duke. Daryl Thiessen for Rod Boyd and Dr. Reg Westgarth. At 9 is Carson's Buck and Go. Todd Ratchford for Greg McNair and David Carson. Field of 9, race number 5. Let's get a look at this field, the Super High 5, and also the final leg of that Pick 5. You're still alive, and the price started off pretty high in Carson's Buck and Go. Your top pick has dropped down now, but still 10-1, Sugar.
With this one, it is a back tier post, first time starter, but the qualifier for me says he's good to go. Had the qualifier over at Grand River Raceway. The track was rated good, made up almost 10 lengths through the final half, and I like the look of this son of Stag Party and Todd Ratchford doing good things there. His family had the big win, big stakes victory at Woodbine Mohawk Park recently, so going in the right direction for sure. Todd Ratchford, and we'll be driving this first time. Eric Carson's Buck and Go. Huge return, over $1,000 return on a 20-cent wager should he win this one for the Pick 5.
That'd be a really nice start for you. And look, also, you can always take a shot with Greg McNair. I mean, he's won a lot of races over his fine career. Number 3, Archie is getting love. It's 7-2, and it is J.R. Plott and Tess Waxman, and certainly they get their share. In fact, Tess right now has a 380 training average on the year. Archie does show that one start, finishing second last time out.
Yeah, and did flash some good early speed, and right now his on-track presence looks very good. I mean, he's right on the bit here for J.R. Plott. He's sitting second at the quarter, 27-4 at Kawartha, able to stick around, finish second. 157 flat mile over a 5/8 track. Nothing wrong with that in Ontario. 7-2, mild price player here for JR.
One that's getting an enormous amount of love is one Super Puncher. And earlier in the card, you had a Redland Bethany Jean that I asked you, were you worried about the last couple starts not being great? Well, same question for Super Puncher. Back-to-back 9s. In fact, 2 9s and a 10.
Yeah, I don't know what horse players are seeing in this one right now. I mean, sure, I've got her pegged as him as a top 3 player. Son of Tall Dark Stranger here. We don't see many of those just yet in Ontario. Absolutely zero gate speed this horse is showing. So I'm not sure where Pat Hudon's going to have this one situated throughout the mile.
Yeah, Hurricane Hudon's going to need to get this one stormed up in the early going. Super Puncher. 4-5 though. That's a lot of coin. And look, you do see some little flashes, but just a long way from putting it all together. Has had 8 starts without a top 3. Number 7, Benjamin B. Scotty Coldiver, Ken Oliver, and one that didn't race badly last time out at Flamborough. Had a couple of starts, and it could step forward from those and at least be a shot at the top 4.
Has been closing up well in those 2 career starts, and here's one that it could set up for. 15-1, now 13-1 price player, and one to include in this high 5 play.
And then the bottom for the high 5, Stonebridge Alien. X is on the dance card, though.
Yeah, you know what? A half brother to Stonebridge Helios, and we know what that one's done on the racetrack. But Stonebridge Alien, it's time to go for this one. 6-1, third choice. I just went with the odd numbers for this high 5 play.
Well, that's odd. Look, one thing about Stonebridge Alien is a $165,000 yearling purchase, so we'll see what we get out of Stonebridge Alien. But it's Super Puncher, Stonebridge Impish, and Archie on the inside. Cincinnatus and Stonebridge Alien in the center. To the outside, Jour de Rêve, Benjamin B., and Regal Duke. And the second tier, Carson's Buck and Go. It's a field of 9 for the 5th dash. And the field for the 5th race. In position, They're at the start and they're off, and on the inside, Super Puncher is flashing some gate speed. Stonebridge Alien, then Stonebridge Impish and Archie, and then Benjamin B. Carson's Buck and Go slide through on the inside. Now will be racing fifth, and sixth is Benjamin B. And then it is back to Cincinnatus and Joie de Rêve. And trailing the field is Regal Duke, but it is Stonebridge Alien who's got the lead at 5-1. But Archie on the outside for J.R. Plot now is coming on. Stonebridge Alien, Archie now sweeping up on the outside, and Archie is going to take the lead. Stonebridge Alien's racing second. Super Puncher is third. Then Stonebridge Impish, and Carson's Buck and Go is currently going fifth right now, about 8 or 9 off the lead. Then it is back to Benjamin B. and Cincinnatus and Joie de Rêve and Regal Duke. 29 opening quarter. J.R. Plot and Archie leading their way on up towards the half of a 29-second opening quarter. Stonebridge Alien is in a good spot second. Super Puncher is still in the fight third. And now Carson's Buck and Go has got the word go and moves out and is going to get cover as Super Puncher to go from third. Carson's Buck and Go on the outside racing for then Stonebridge Impish, half 59-1. Benjamin B is currently being sixth, and then Regal Duke with a late kick, and Cincinnatus and Joie de Rêve is trailing the field. It is still Archie, Super Puncher on the outside at 6-5, trying to track down the 8-5 Archie, but Archie is game. Archie for now is turning back. Super Puncher, 3/4, 129-1. Stonebridge Alien third, and Carson's Buck and Go still has to go some, but is about 2 1/4 off the lead as they turn from, and then Stonebridge Impish, and then it is Cincinnatus and Benjamin B. They're fanned out. They come on down the lane, and Archie is still game, but Super Puncher, Archie and Super Puncher dueling. Super Puncher on the outside. Super Puncher is going to win it over Archie. Then finishing third, Stonebridge Alien. And fourth is between Carson's Buck and Go and Stonebridge Impish, but 157-3. Well, the money came in for Super Puncher. Sugar, 6-5 on the board. We were kind of wondering why so much money. Well, winner Gagnon.
Smart money was on the board, and Hurricanes have never been good to the Sugar Man.
No, it is good to see Hurricane Hudon win. The
Sure.
only thing, he's got to learn to smile once in a while, though. He's always frowning.
That's a complete lie now. No, the reason I mentioned Hurricanes have never been good to me, I was down in PEI a few years back, and a chimney during a hurricane fell on the roof of my vehicle, and that was that.
Well, maybe that's why you're holding it against Pat. But look at Super Puncher. Look, he got off the gate. That's the one thing you mentioned. He didn't flash gate speed, and that's where it started for him.
Yeah, you know what? He left well, and he finished very strong. That's back quarter speed in 28 in the piece. So Pat's got a really nice one there.
And you mentioned you went with odd numbers. Well, the odd numbers do take the top 4 positions, but Super Puncher punches you out of the pick 5, and I mentioned that you went pretty deep on your ticket, but the one you went too deep here. Your third choice was one Super Puncher.
Yeah, I just had to dig a little deeper, but then I would have been getting into the wallet just a little bit more. But you know what? Keep an eye on that Greg McNair train. He just a little green when turning for home, went a little wide.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he managed to get fourth over number 2 Stonebridge Impish, but now coming back in front of us, and a man who's finally got a smile on his face. It's number 1 Super Puncher and Hurricane Patrick Hudon. Super Puncher, 3-year-old tall, dark stranger bay gelding, owned by Tomo Mechanical and William Cripps and Nelson Craig. It's the first win for Super Puncher, 157-3. On the board, we have a 13592. The fifth race payout. One Super Puncher, $4.70, $2.80, $2.23. Archie, $3, $2.35. Snowbird Alien, $2.80. $2 Exactor, $9.80. Dollar Try, $17. Dollar High Five, $191.25. 20-cent High Five, $38.25. The dollar pick 3 is $26.45. Dollar pick 4, $341.60. We had a 20-cent pick 4 of $68.32. The dollar pick 5, $1,970.50. Kaboom, shakalaka. Fans note in race number 7, claim entered number 4, Voom Voom. Von Claim entered on number 4, Voom Voom. The fifth race, order of finish from the top, is at 152, 639, 784. Once again, from the top down, 152, 639, 784. Once again, fans note race 6, Climb Edward 5, I Wish I Had a Me. And in race number 7, there's a claim, Von Claim, and number 4, Voom Voom in the 7th.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It's the start of the back half of this Wednesday evening program, Grand River Raceway opening night, an all-pace 10-dash card here in Elora. So on the 5/8 track here at Grand River Raceway for the second straight season, introducing the 5/8 track last year, and horses get over it well, and they're getting over it well this evening. Race number 6 starting up. The popular pick 5 play here covers the final 5 races on the night, and opening leg, we're going inside to Miss Sophia Rose, the 2 Lisa's All In, and also going to include the 5 I Wish I Had a Me. Now, if I wanted to single one up in here, it would be that 5 I Wish I Had a Me. A bit of a one-trick pony, this mare. Anytime she makes front, she's very tough to take down. I could see her going straight to the top, and they'll have to catch her with one claim entered. It's for sure go time. I Wish I Had a Me. Damian McClellan looking for his second driving win on this evening, teaming up again with Kyle Boston, who they scored with back earlier on the program, the mild upset with Harbor Light Jimmy earlier on in the card. So 1, 2, 5. Again, if you're looking for a single, might be that 5 I Wish I Had a Me. Over into leg 2, we were using 4 of them in there, 1, 4, 5, and 6. I guess they're on parade there, so we'll set it right back to Gary.
Field for the post parade 1 is Miss Sophia Rose, Jason Ryan for Mark Goddard and William Brown. Number 2 is Lisa's All In, Austin Sorry for Courtney Robson. Three, Sky Velocity, Paul McKenzie for Gary McDonald. Four is All She Can, Scott Kohler for Wayne Smith. 5 is I Wish I Had a Me, Damian McClellan for Kyle Bossons. And number 6, Pretty Missy May, Daryl Thiessen for Ken Middleton Jr. and James Grant. That's the field for the 6th race. Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. And Well, Sugar, we kind of cut you short on the pick five, but we had your ticket up on the screen. You're spending a
Yeah.
little less, $19.80, I believe, and you almost got the one in the first. Except, came up one short. But listen, you can redeem yourself here with the pick five here in the sixth, and we're going to take a look at the field for the sixth race. I Wish I Had Me has a claim entered. Your top selection. I went a different way here. I opted to the sixth, but I Wish I Had Me 3-1.
Yeah, the saying for Robert used to be, you know what, there's no tomorrow for the connection, so go hard. This one with the claim entered. As mentioned, Gary, for me, from what I've seen of this mare, all at London and elsewhere, one trick pony. She got to be on top, and she's very tough to take down when she gets there.
Well, 6 wins on the year, which if you look at the rest of the field, we see 5 wins the rest of the field and 6 with her and the claim in and the price of 2-1. Number 2, Lisa's All In, is one that has only 1 win on the year. But one thing to note, has been racing in the straight 8 claimers, now drops a level.
Yeah, and her form's been pretty good in recent starts. Over there in London, she was second, and then she was third, placed back for some interference late, but fourth best in the latest in a quick trip at Flamborough, 57-1. Austin Sorey gets the call for this one. 5-2 for Lisa's All In. I can get behind her.
Austin's been really hot of late, and so you got the sharp driver, hot driver on Lisa's All In for Courtney Robson. Down to the inside, one Miss Sophia Rose, and well, last couple starts at Mohawk weren't great, but we've already seen earlier in the program, maybe those last races at Mohawk, when they're coming in here, we can discard them and take a look and further down the page, and you only have to go 3 back to see a really good start at Flamborough.
Yeah, and you know, the rail's not such a bad spot to be getting away from tonight, as we saw Pat Hudon leave with that super puncher to be on top in the early going there in race number 5. So Miss Sophia Rose, she does have a little bit of speed to work with. Last time she had a rail over at Flamborough, sitting up close second in a hot early quarter, 27 and change. Jason Ryan is one driver that I noticed did well over the 5/8 of Grand River Raceway last summer, and look for good things from Jason Ryan again this race meet as well.
5-1 on Miss Sophia Rose. One stat that scares me a little bit is just 2 wins in the past 61 starts, but it's a little bit win shy. But Miss Sophia Rose, well, maybe old Flash Gate Speed doesn't show it recently, but then neither did Pat, and Pat stormed with Super Puncher last time out. Another one to look at, number 4, All She Can. Well, 2 races ago was a winner, and then last race at Flamborough, might just want to stroke that one out.
Yeah, they went a little too quick for her last time out. Del Diggity, 54-4, in for the $8,000 tag. Very fast in here, and your top selection there, number 6, Pretty Missy May. She keeps on taking the action there. I just couldn't get behind her, Gary, with those 31 and change last quarters in her last couple of starts.
Well, I was loyal because of the union, Ken Middleton Jr., the announcers union. And I'm showing a little lack of loyalty on your part, but it wasn't a lacking on my part.
Right. Well, you know what? We're all cheering on number 6, Pretty Missy May, even if I don't have her in my top 4.
It's a field of 6, and Pretty Missy May is sitting at 4-1 right now. Miss Sophia Rose, Lisa's All In on the inside. Sky Velocity, All She Can on the center, the outside. I Wish I Had Me, and Pretty Missy May. Field of 6, race number 6, into the backstretch. Gathering speed approaching the start. It's a field of 6 for the 6th dash. They're at the start of the rough. Pretty Missy May is leaving pretty hard. I Wish I Had Me. All She Can. Lisa's All In. Miss Sophia Rose and Sky Velocity. Pretty Missy May blasting out. Leads by about 4.5 right now. I Wish I Had Me is getting some urging to move on up and get over the pylons in front of Lisa's All In. Then All She Can is racing forth, and then Miss Sophia Rose and Sky Velocity. But Pretty Missy May is fired up early. 26-1 opening quarter. Pretty Missy May as they race off the turn coming on towards us, and I Wish I Had Me is racing second. Then third in line is Lisa's All In front of All She Can. Then Miss Sophia Rose and Sky Velocity. Pretty Missy May, after a sharp opening panel, might want to pick up a second panel breather, and they head their way on up towards the half, and that lead is a length and a half. And on the outside now, Lisa's All In is on the outside and is being followed on the outside by All She Can. I Wish I Had a Me is on the inside, about 3 off the lead, and is now fourth, and down the backstretch of a half of 56 at 29 4 second panel. It is Pretty Missy May trying to fend off Lisa's All In. Pretty Missy May is still looking pretty good right now. Leads at a length and a half. And now by about a length and 3/4, and Lisa's All In is going to tuck in. All She Can is traveling first over. I Wish I Had Me. Miss Sophia Rose is out 3 wide and is blooming now. And then Sky Velocity, Pretty Missy May. Miss Sophia Rose now is coming on. And Pretty Missy May, after snug early fractions, might be tiring a little bit. Lisa's All In. Miss Sophia Rose, and wider still is Sky Velocity, and on the inside I Wish I Had Me. They're all there now as they turn from. Miss Sophia Rose is coming with Sky Velocity on the outside. Miss Sophia Rose is going to win. 3 across the track for second. Sky Velocity, Lisa's All In, and I Wish I Had Me. 155-3. Well, that race of the whole race changed a lot with that 26-1 opening quarter, and you saw them when they turned for home. They were all in it.
Yeah, you bet. Never saw 26-1 opening quarter for that field. I mean, I Wish I Had Me. She left all she could, and there was no way she could keep up to Pretty Missy May in the early going. But picking up the pieces late, pretty good price. She got a couple of favorites knocked out over there for the opening leg of the pick 5. Miss Sophia Rose, New Life Best. They're getting over Grand River really good tonight, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miss Sophia Rose, you did use this one for third, and we mentioned that, well, maybe you can disregard the last 2 at Mohawk because 8th and 7th, and you go back to the last trip away from Mohawk, was a very game second, and that was a closing second as well, so maybe that line, May the 4th, shows you what could maybe happen with Miss Sophia Rose here.
Yeah, you know what? She just had to stay close, and we mentioned Jason Ryan. Loves this track at Grand River Raceway. I spoke to him a number of times at around the paddock last summer when visiting Elora. But yeah, Jason knows this track inside out, and he had it figured out very quickly early on in the meet last season.
Yeah, and look, of course, the race did set up really well, but then you have to have the
Right.
horse to take advantage, and that's what we did see with Miss Sophia Rose at Flamborough. Was way back early in that one. In fact, was 8th at the half and came on to be second, beaten a neck. And that was a big closing effort here. You get a 1, 2, 3, 5. So we start off that pick 5 with one at 5-1. And Sky Velocity was coming late and got onto the ticket at 50-1. But there's Jason Ryan with one Miss Sophia Rose, a 6-year-old big Jim Brown mare, owned by William Brown of Hanover. Mark Goddard's the trainer. First win on the year for Miss Sophia Rose, and the 6th win lifetime, 155-3. Sixth race payouts, one Miss Sophia Rose, $13, $4, $2.90. 2 Lisa's All In, $2.90, $2.50. 3 Sky Velocity, $6.20. $2 exactor, $23.70. Dollar try, $79.90. Dollar super, $291.55. 20-cent super is $58.31. The sixth race, order of finish from the top, is a 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5 at the bottom. And note the claimed horse, I Wish I Had a Me. The new trainer will be Tyler Schlotman.
Alrighty, we are back, and pick five just began there in race six. Late pick five, Miss Sophia Rose, mild upset winner, 5-1 price player, starting up a little over $6,500 in that late pick five pool. So the players are playing, and we've got another multi-leg wager beginning race seven. It's the late pick four coming up next, and we're going to go deep in here, hoping for a price. We're going to go four deep with a 1, 4, 5, and 6. Starting up this late pick four play, we're using Waiting on a Woman for Travis Cullen on the rail, Voom Voom in the center with a Clay Mettard. Also using the 5 Stay Pump, who's been pretty good for Pam Forgy. Last 3 outings, a first and second from those 3 starts for Pam, and then first Philly Chip on the outside for Brett McDonald, Mitch Tierney. Trainee. Mitch already in the winner's circle earlier on tonight. We're 2 deep, race 8, using BJ's Choice. Wallace Hartley both coming in from the big track of Woodbine Mohawk Park. Then inside to Better Not Mock Me and Charmbo Stormy. We've got Preferred Pacing Mares in race number 9. And then deepest of all, race 10, hoping for a price on the end of it with 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. If you're playing along, $16 on the 20-cent wager, the way the ticket looks on the screen. Might have time to get a look at a Gary Guy play here. Gary?
A little bit light. Could you say that?
A little bit.
Well, one thing, at least if my ticket doesn't win, you're not throwing much of a price in the garbage. And look, there's Conley's ticket has gone a little bit deeper, and there's also a look back at. So I it's just I don't think that's the one that I have.
We got to do this quick because pajama party's coming.
And we do have a post break coming
just
out.
Need to add that 5 there in the race 8 there for you. 1 with 4 and 8.
There's a look at the Ontario Education and Employment Program paddock cam. Horses coming out on post parade. Field for the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. One is Waiting on a Woman, Travis Cullen, Jody Cullen, and Ron Cullen. Number 2 is B3PO, Scotty Coldifer, Ken Oliver. Three is Full of Personality, J.R. Plyford, Tess Waxman. And 4 Voom Voom, Jason Ryan for Dwayne Marfisi and Roy Sproxton. 5 is State Pump, Sammy Fillier for Pam Forgy and Mindy Findling Repco. And number 6 is for Philly Chip, Brett McDonough for Mitchell Tierney and East Coast Captains. Field of 6, race number 7. Let's get a look at this field. And, well, we have some serious chalk on the inside one, Waiting on a Woman, keying this horse in the late pick 4. But you thought there's a possibility of some others coming in, at least have played 3 others. But I tell you, Waiting on a Woman, if you take out that post-8 start 2 races ago, you're looking at a lot of really consistent form. But, of course, it's one set up by Jody Cullen.
Yeah, Waiting on a Woman, seen her a few times in London over the winter, and she always did good things when coming in there. A daughter of Custard the Dragon, bred by the late Hall of Famer Keith Clark out of Alberta. And she's got a pretty good record with the team Cullen, and rail advantage, likely to be on or near the lead with these. But you know what? Kind of a deep field of 6 in here, I'm thinking. That's why I went kind of deep to start things up on this pick 4.
Well, the top board right now is heavily sided to Waiting on a Woman. So if you could get
Yeah.
Waiting on a Woman out of there and have that to kick off your pick four, that would be quite a nice play. And actually, you're also still alive in your pick five because you did add Miss Sophia Rose in that pick five ticket going three deep in the sixth race. Number four, Voom Voom. The claim is in. Are you concerned about that scratched vet sick? That's always something you got to think about.
Not at all. I looked through the lines. I saw her a few times in London. Late April, she was clocking up trips there, 55 and 56 to be first and second. I don't mind for trainer Dwayne Marfisi to have her maybe freshening up 2 to 3 weeks and then coming out for this first start over Grand River Raceway this season. Got tons of gate speed. I could see her going right to the top end here, and they might have to catch her in the price. Love this price. Like her chances. Love the price of 7-1. Jason Ryan to come right back. Let's go.
Your man, Jason Ryan. Number five, Stay Pumped. Sammy Fillier for Pam Forgy. This is one that, got a second beaten a length last time out, 53-3 at Mohawk. So Stay Pumped is one that you got to at least look at in here.
Oh, I think you got to look at, and I think you got to play. 53-3 in the latest. I don't think I've ever seen a mile that quick on this mare, a daughter of Stay Hungry. I liked her in London. She never really got involved much. She was always lagging near the back of the bus. Shortened up field of 6 in here. She's got to like this this field. She's not going to be too far off the pace, and she's got a nice kick on the end.
Yeah, and First Philly Chip is one that you added onto the bottom of the ticket I left off. But look, last race was better, so maybe could carry that forward.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Mitch was a winner earlier on in the card, right? With I believe it was the Redland Bethany Jean horse. No, it was another one. Now, if I had to find it, I'd be looking through these program pages all night and maybe not find it. But Mitch, I don't mind. Big price, 17-1. One of the longer shots on the board here with Brett McDonald up.
One that made a fair amount of money last year, 46,000 in 24 starts. So certainly could live up to that last race. It's a field of 6 for race number 7. They're in behind the starting gate, Waiting on a Woman. B, 3PO on the inside. In the center, Full of Personality and Voom Voom. And to the outside, Stay Pumped and First Philly Chip. It is a field of 6 for the 7th race. Field for the 7th race. At the start of the rough, Voom Voom, Full of Personality, and then Stay Pumped and First Philly Chip. Waiting on a Woman is on the inside racing 5th right now, and now 4th. Then dropping back on the outside now to last as First Philly Chip is moving up one spot as B3PO. But Voom Voom has Voom early for Jason Ryan and is in front a length and a half right now. Full of Personality is filling the pocket. Waiting on a Woman has advanced up to 3rd, then Stay Pumped is currently racing 4th. Then it is back to B3PO and First Philly Chip. Voom Voom. And now to the outside, Waiting on a Woman is waiting no longer. Waiting on a Woman to challenge Voom Voom of a 27-4 opening quarter. Waiting on a Woman, 4-5 favorite. Now is going to clear to the front. Voom Voom is racing position to 2nd. Then it is Full of Personality who is 3rd. And Stay Pumped is racing position to 4th as they work their way on down the backstretch off a half of 57-1. Waiting on a Woman is leading. Voom Voom is 2nd. Full of Personality is 3rd. Then Stay Pumped is racing position to 4th. And on the outside, B3PO. And back to First Philly Chip. Waiting on a Woman. Leads as they race their way, heading on up to 3/4, waiting on a woman. Leads it by about a length and 3/4 over Voom Voom. And racing third, full of personality. Then B3PO and Stay Pumped in first. Philly Chip and waiting on a woman. Leads by about 2 1/4 or 3/4, 125 and 2. Waiting on a woman and Voom Voom as the field is turning for home. Waiting on a woman and Voom Voom. And then it is full of personality. And then it is back to B3PO on down the stretch route. They come, waiting on a woman, and Voom Voom, waiting on a woman, still leads it a length and a half. A little late push from Voom Voom, but is going to have to settle for second. And then it was full of personality and Stay Pumped. Mile of 1:54 and 1, waiting on a woman. 4 to 5 on the board, and lived up to it. Travis Cullen wasn't waiting any longer past the quarter, and proved to be the right move.
In control, very tough to take down late. The only one with a shot when turning for home was that 4 Voom Voom, but you know what? She gave it a pretty good go for missing a few weeks, and not a bad exactor coming back here, Gary. $15 for those two. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, one thing about Travis Cullen's driving that I like, and I've seen him drive a lot at Flamborough, he gives every horse a chance. He seldom gets stuck in a race where he just didn't allow the horse to get into the race, where he got stuck and didn't make the right choice.
It's all players want, right? Especially with a favorite. You got to put them in the right place to win. I mean, he left enough to keep himself warm, and saw the winning move happen around the quarter mile. And when this mare took control, it was going to be very tough to track her down. I mean, boom, boom, she come a little bit late, gained a bit, but they weren't going by this mare tonight.
Of course, one thing that Travis has in his back pocket is knowing that the horses are trained up and ready to go. So if he uses a horse a little bit more, they can handle it.
Yeah, I've seen him in action around the barns of Alberta. When I worked Northlands Park, I would visit the barn on a regular basis. Travis has his hands on everything. He does it all, you know, the training, the owning, driving, the shoeing, and a whole lot more. You know, Travis is a great horseman.
The quiet assassin. Doesn't say a whole heck of a lot, but he gets the job done. Back in front of us is number 1, waiting on a woman. 5-year-old Custard the Dragon brown mare. Ron and Jody Cullen sharing ownership with Travis. Jody Cullen, the trainer. Second win of the evening for Travis Cullen, and the 7th win this year and 18th lifetime. Waiting on a woman and Travis Cullen. Seventh race pouch. 1, waiting on a woman. 382, 60, 230. 4, Voom Voom. $3, 293. Full of personality. 410, $2 exactor. $15, $30 try. 32.95. Dollar super. 57.05. 20-cent super. 11.41. The 7th race, order of finish. From the top downs, 163,245. That is 163,245 on the bottom. And note the claim from race number 7. Number 4, Voom Voom, had one claim entered, and the new trainer, Rafael Barraza. Field on the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade. 1, is Highland Hot Sauce. Travis Cullen for Michelle Bowen. Number 2 is BJ's Choice. Jason Ryan for Mark Goddard and William Brown. And 3 is Wicked Prince. Travis Henry for Sean Stacy and Hunt Racing. And 4 is Wallace Hartley. Sammy Filia for Chantel Mitchell and Dale Towell. 5 is Scratched. And number 6, Salzburg Tsunami. Brett McDonough for Ron McDonald and Charlie Fitzpatrick and Brent McLennan. It's just a field of 5 for race number 8. Clint Svet is out. And, well, Sugar, Wallace Hartley, 4 to 5 is getting a lot of love. And we've seen this evening you do have the ability to look past some suspect last lines at Mohawk, and horses have raced a lot better than what their lines show. Of course, a class dropper in Wallace Hartley.
Yeah, these horses that are coming in from Woodbine Mohawk Park tonight, most are getting class relief. Most do have the class edge on the field, and that's what we're seeing here. Both the 2 and 4 have been racing some very nice horses in recent starts. Got a runner-up finish in the season debut. Well, not the season debut, but first start back off the layoff there late April. There is plenty of gate speed to work with here. This 4 Wallace Hartley. Sam Filion, look for this one to have this one on or near the lead here. Odds on right now, and I don't know. It's I'd be hoping for at least 2 to 1, maybe 9 to 5, but odds on right now. There's others in here that can go with.
I think you might be hopelessly cheering for those kind of odds, because I don't think it's going to happen. Look, Wallace Hartley last year, 70,000 almost earned in 25 starts, took a mark of 51-2. So I don't think we're going to get the price. So then if you had to go shopping elsewhere, you went to one BJ's Choice that I have kind of soured on. Look, last year there was times I liked him, but boy, of late it's been a little thin.
Little thin, a couple of 8th best finishes over the big track in recent starts, but we saw Jason and Mark get together to start up the late pick 5 here tonight. This is going to be an easier spot. I mean, he's in against Bruno, last time out, and that one did wonders, winning in 52-1. Of course, this one finished well back, but softer company, big time for the 2. BJ's Choice here, 6 to 1.
He did make a big move 2 races ago. It came all the way up to being second, and then tired with just a 30-2 final quarter. He's shown some flashes, and you do see a 26-second final quarter, May the 3rd. And one thing, when we've seen BJ's Choice here at Grand River, he can be a really good closer. That's been more of his forte. Number 1, Highland Hot Sauce. Well, it was reasonably saucy, 4th, 2 races to go, and that was in against some good ones, Clint Svet and Rolex. Highland Hot Sauce, Travis Cullen.
Yeah, Travis in the winner's circle twice already tonight. I played this horse. I picked this horse quite a bit last summer at Grand River Raceway. Not a whole lot of early speed to work with, but always seemed to have a pretty good kick on the end. I'm just going from memory. From what I saw last summer at Grand River Raceway, just one of those horses that I like to chase. I don't know if he got there too many times for me, but I had to go back to him to include in the top 3 here.
Of the other 2, Wicked Prince comes in off of making a couple breaks. Salzburg Tsunami is one that you got to see win at London back at the end of April, but since then hasn't been great. Could you take a flyer on Salzburg Tsunami? I mean, 3 to 1's a little low if you're going to take a flyer on that one.
Only if I thought he could make front end here. For me, when he won there in London, he was on the lead and just a totally different horse when relaxing up front. I mean, he got chased up pretty good on the final half in that one, but I just don't see him passing horses in here.
One thing I would mention, that Wicked Prince was in some decent company back in April and back-to-back second-place finishes. But since then, those 2 breaks, and maybe it's one to just watch. The qualifier, though, does show a pretty good back half.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. 28 flat on the end of it. Even the 3rd quarter is not bad when he's making an outside move. And, yeah, Wicked Prince could find his way into the superfecta here.
Well, I told you we're fruitlessly wishing for the price Wallace Hartley right now is
Oh,
2-5.
ain't gonna happen, right? Oh
No.
boy.
Highland Hot Sauce, BJ's Choice with position on the inside. Wicked Prince to the outside. Wallace Hartley, Salzburg Tsunami. It's a field of 5. It is race number 8. Field of 5 for the 8th race in the backstretch. And the field for the 8th race is at the start of the rough, and Wallace Hartley, Salzburg Tsunami, Wicked Prince on the inside, BJ's Choice and Highland Hot Sauce. Wallace Hartley, heavy favorite, driving out and taking the lead. Salzburg Tsunami is still working on the outside, and then Wicked Prince is on the inside third. Salzburg Tsunami is continuing to storm on the outside. Wallace Hartley, Sammy Filya is taking a hold of that one, is going to be filling the pocket as Salzburg Tsunami continued to march and takes the lead. 27-3 opening quarter, but it was a short-lived lead. Now as Wallace Hartley on the retake is going to come right back up and grab the front. It is Wallace Hartley, Salzburg Tsunami second, Wicked Prince third, BJ's Choice, Highland Hot Sauce off a 27-3 opening quarter. The field heads their way on up towards the half. And it is Sammy Filya and Wallace Hartley leading, and Salzburg Tsunami is second. Wicked Prince is racing first over. Now Wicked Prince is coming on the outside and is only about a length and 3/4 off the lead. And then it is back to BJ's Choice and Highland Hot Sauce. Wallace Hartley 2-5 on the board. Might have to deal with Wicked Prince, who's only a length back. Inside third is Salzburg Tsunami, and racing fourth BJ's Choice, and then Highland Hot Sauce off a 56-3.5. They race their way on by 3/4, and Wallace Hartley still on top. Leads at a length. 3/4, 124-2. Wicked Prince is second. Salzburg Tsunami, BJ's Choice is kicking in late now, and Highland Hot Sauce, but Wallace Hartley still looks to be well within himself. Wallace Hartley as the field turns for home. Wicked Prince is tucked down to the inside. Wallace Hartley, Wicked Prince. Wallace Hartley, no urging as Sammy Filya's just a passenger is going to win it. Then Wicked Prince, and third looked like BJ's Choice. 153 flat. Wallace Hartley, Sugar, looked like maybe he could have gone around one more time.
Yeah, that retake move at the quarter mile to go to the top. He looked so strong too. He was right on the bit, all muscled up for Filion, and yeah, when he took control, that was for sure over. Nice back half in there, 56-2, and even on the end, 28 and change, just full of himself pulling up.
Yeah, and and we did looking at the tote board. I don't know what it says, 2-5, so I just know that it was less than even money.
Yeah, he was a bet off the board, 2-5, likely returning 260, 280 on a win price.
Yeah, Wicked Prince, we were talking about that one coming in off of breaks, but actually raced pretty credibly. So now we can watch for Wicked Price next time out because got smoothened out.
You talked about him and mentioning that qualifier was looking pretty good. Well, it sure was. First up through that final half and to stay on for second, for sure, put a big circle around him for next time.
And then Salzburg Tsunami, you said if he could make the front. Well, he made the front for about 4 seconds.
Yeah, he found a spot up close. When I saw him racing in the 2-hole, I figured he'd have to stick around for a piece of the try or super. He just doesn't pass horses well.
Yeah, so I used Wicked Prince for second on my exactor ticket.
Nice.
I took a flyer, even though the couple of breaks, because at least then you get one that's 5-1 because Wallace Hartley 2-5 the board. 4-3-6-2 is the top 4.
Tell you what, you'll certainly be looking for Wicked Prince next time.
Maybe even at a well, I guess it'll be a less than a Wicked Price, but I'll still be watching for Wicked Prince. Coming back in front of us is number 4, Wallace Hartley. Wallace Hartley, 4-year-old Lazarus Bay horse owned by Dale Towell, trained by Chantel Mitchell. The winning drive to Sammy Filya. Wallace Hartley's 5th win lifetime, first on the year. Eighth race payouts for Wallace Hartley, 290, 260, 210. 3 Wicked Prince for 80, 336. Sosrick Tsunami, 450. $2 exactor, 930. Dollar try, 25.90. Dollar super, 75.20. 20-cent super, 15.04. Eighth race order finish from the top is a 5 4 2 1 scratch 3. That's 5 4 2 1 scratch 3 on the bottom. There's a look at the Ontario Education and Employment Program paddock cam as the horses are heading out for the post parade. Field on the Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals post parade, and one is Better Not Mock Me, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen and Wayne McRae and Hammock Farms. Number 2 is Charmbo, Stormy, Austin Surrey for Jared Mann and Ron Nobes. And number 3, Sports Duchess, Daryl Thiessen for Gerard Demarais and Tag Incorporated. For his cheese party, Damian McClellan for Kyle Bossons. 5 is Fainted Fire, Sammy Fillier for Pam Forkin, Mindley Findling Repco. 6 is Salzburg Olympia, Jay Harris for Vern Cochran and Edward Gork. And rounding up the field will be 7 Ladies from Hell, Garrett Rooney for Mike Sumner. Mike shares another with Shea Summer. Field of 7 for race 9. Shannon, we get 5 horses coming in from the same race at Western Fair, May the 23rd, and then a couple of Mohawk Invaders. So a field that, for the most part, you've had a good look at, and you landed on one Better Not Mock Me, one of the 2 Mohawk Invaders.
Travis Cullen driven mare. For me, she's getting some class relief and needed that last start after missing most of May, Gary. And when she did come back on May 30th, she fired home in 26-4, passing a horse through the lane. And yeah, it's a good spot for her. $50,000 claiming type she was facing. A real nice winner in the latest she was up against was Tells on a Roll. So Travis Cullen reuniting here in the driver's seat, and he gets along well with her.
And one thing to mention, Better Not Mock Me's career mark was taken here last year, 52-4, so she knows how to go quickly over here. Look, Charmbro Stormy, though, is one that did win a couple of the last 3 starts. A winner in that race that I mentioned 5 of them are coming out of, and, well, 6 wins of the year.
Yeah, Jared Mann, a heck of a job on the training side, and when teaming up with driver Austin Sorey, it's a pretty strong combination. Very sharp, 54-4 winner over London. That's a pretty quick trip for the pacing mares, and she did it first up for a long ways. Over 60,000 earned already this season. 7-5, deservedly so.
Yeah, Jared in the win column training this year, 86 starters, 27 wins. That is just outstanding, and Austin's having that big year. Number 6, Salzburg Olympia, has got a case of third itis and might keep that third itis going here because that seems to be about where she compares.
Yeah, Jay Harris, he gets along well with the daughter of Big Jim, and she got some pretty good snap off the gate. I could see Jay finding a spot up close with this mare. Price is right. You're getting 15-1, where I think she can hit the try and or superfecta.
She has an enormous amount of back class. She's almost the class leader. Ladies from Hell has the most back class, but Salzburg Olympia is 4 years younger, so really if you're dividing that class into the time spent on the track, certainly she fits really well. And one more to look at. Well, I mentioned Ladies from Hell, back class, 339,000 lifetime. 6 wins on the year.
Yeah, you know what? There are no signs of this one slowing down anytime soon. It's a tough outside post to overcome with these, but take nothing away from her. She got over London 55-2 this past race meet, and we don't call her the Queen of London for nothing.
And she's got 52 lifetime victories. Well, Better Not Mock Me is the 3-2 slight favorite over Chambro Stormy at 3-2, and they take up position on the inside. Then Sports Duchess, Cheese Party, Faded Fire in the center, the outside, Salzburg Olympia, and Ladies from Hell. It's a field of 7 for race number 9. They're in position as Faded Fire is just moving up to the gate now. Field of 7, 9th race, Fillies and Mares preferred 2. There at the start of the route, Salzburg Olympia is going to get alertly, and Sports Duchess, Chambro Stormy, Better Not Mock Me now is going to press on through from the inside. Better Not Mock Me and Chambro Stormy now have the top 2 positions. Then Sports Duchess and Salzburg Olympia. Then it is back to Cheese Party and Faded Fire and Ladies from Hell. Better Not Mock Me fell down to 1-2 as the favorite now. Chambro Stormy is racing second. Sports Duchess third. Salzburg Olympia is fourth. 27 seconds opening quarter as the field will work their way on past us, and fifth is Cheese Party. And then it is back to Faded Fire and Ladies from Hell. Better Not Mock Me off a 27 opening quarter by the lead of a length and a half. Chambro Stormy is enjoying the view in the pocket right now and is in front of Sports Duchess with Salzburg Olympia racing position 4th. Then Cheese Party, Faded Fire, and Ladies from Hell is back trailing. Better Not Mock Me, 56-4 halftime, 29-4 second panel breather. Chambro Stormy is staying close in the pocket, though. Now popping out from third, Sports Duchess is quickly bursting onto the scene. Then it is Salzburg Olympia. Cheese Party, Faded Fire finds a seam through on the inside to gain some ground. Ladies from Hell is trailing the field. Better Not Mock Me rolls by 3/4. That lead is diminished. It's down to just about 3/4 of length. 3/4 was 125, and it is Better Not Mock Me. Sports Duchess inching forward is only ahead from the lead. Chambro Stormy, Salzburg Olympia is racing forth as the field turns for home. Better Not Mock Me, Sports Duchess, and now looking to go up the passing lane. Chambro Stormy, Better Not Mock Me out wide. Salzburg Olympia is closing. Sports Duchess, Salzburg Olympia. It's close along with Sports Duchess and Better Not Mock Me. 153-1. It is a photo finish, Shannon, and well, Better Not Mock Me got to leg weary, and so they're all coming at the finish.
Mare, Better Not Mock Me. She was hanging around there. She was fighting on, but Jay with Salzburg Olympia might have just pulled off the upset if she gets there. A season's mark, 153-1.
Yeah, one thing I made the mistake of as they're coming down the stretch drive, I stood up out the window to take a look outside, and it was the 6th, but there's about a second lag from what I'm watching on TV to stepping outside, so I actually missed the finish.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. You know, a little bit of a delay in the signal there. So yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, if you're going to get up, you got to get up at the top of the stretch or halfway down the lane, just so that you're not. Yeah, there it is, and. Salzburg Olympia. And we mentioned had a case of thirditis. Well, not thirditis here. But look, it set up well, and especially when Better Not Mock Me wasn't able to keep it going.
Yeah, but like I said, missed most of the month of May. I thought that last start would have helped her out, and it probably did because she was game right until the end. It wasn't like she was giving up big time. That was a 3-across thriller.
Yeah, and you know, there's the case where just the back class really showed up because Salzburg Olympia is no stranger to the winner's circle. This will be another win, 330,000 coming into this race.
Wow, yeah, nice mare.
Look at the exactors, 6 and 3, 20-1, 25-1. Do you have that?
Not even close. Nobody's close, mate. There's gonna be a few of them out there.
It's a 6-3-1-5 back in front of us, number 6, Salzburg Olympia. 7-year-old Big Jim Black mare, owned by Edward Gork, trained by Vern Cochran, Jay Harris. The Green Arrow victorious. It's the fourth win for Salzburg Olympia. 33rd lifetime mile, 153-1. Ninth race payout, 6 Salzburg Olympia, 43.80, 7.55, 20. 3 Sports Duchess, 23.36.10. 1 Better Not Mock Me, $230. $2 Exactor, $344.60. Dollar Try, $1,236.60. And the 20-cent Super, $1,061.23. Also note that 20-cent Try pays $247.32. Ninth race order finish from top is at 352-7416. That's 352-7416 on the bottom. field for the 10th race on parade. One is Luna's Legacy. Austin Surrey driving for Joe Pereira. Number 2 is Puff's Last Shadow. Paul McKenzie for David Fry and Sarah Fry. And number 3 is Vogue Blue Chip. Daryl Thiessen for Rod Boyd and Rick McNeil and John Osinga. And number 4 is Convoy 22. Damien McClellan for Kyle Bossens and High Stakes Incorporated and Nancy McNevin. Number 6, Bozak, Sammy Filia for Brenda Lane and Mark Lane and Anthony Lane. Number 7, Mel's Legacy, Jason Ryan for Mark Goddard and William Brown. 8 is Volcanic, Todd Bradford for Greg McNair and Barbara Wells. 9 is Belmont Blazer, Travis Gulliver, Jody Cullen. And 5 is Larjon Levi, Scott Culver, Patrick Bissett, and Larry Lane. That is the post parade presented by Alpha Omega, effective supplements through science. Let's get a look at this field for race number 10. And, well, let's see if we can do some scientific analysis of this 10th race. And, well, your science led you to Convoy 22. I love that you're taking a shot on one that is probably not going to be close to chalk and has actually fallen down to 9-2 now.
I love this horse in the finale. It's a wide open, high five finale, a full field of 9 here. And I'm going to call it wide open, Gary. But for me, Convoy 22 kind of finding himself within the Kyle Bossens barn now. I believe it's going to be the 5th start for the barn and a pretty solid 3rd when coming from well off the pace in the latest over London. Just something about him tonight. I love his chances here.
Lightly raced during the last 2 seasons, 16 starts since the 1st of January last year. So you mentioned could just be finding himself. One that finds himself on the outside of the gate is number 8, Volcanic. But it is the 2nd start for Greg McNair. Now look at 2nd start off the layoff. Did have 3 consecutive wins. And in fact, people might look at that last race and say, well, they didn't race as well as the wins. No, race 2 seconds or more faster. It's just hooked up with a tougher bunch.
Yeah, he got in tough there, hit an outside post. When you take back to 10th at Woodbine Mohawk Park, the chances are slim to none that you're going to get a big chunk of it. And things just couldn't set up for him there. And he had missed a pretty good amount of time prior to that latest. I do like the horse, Gary, and I know you've got him pegged as your top selection. I've got him as a top 2 player. But you know what? Just the 2nd start back off the layoff and a tough post 8. I mentioned earlier on this evening, I like the 4, the 5, the 6, 7 hole, but that 8 is kind of tough at Grand River.
Yeah, and Vogue Blue Chip is one that you used for your top 3. Vogue Blue Chip, trailer post last race, now gets nose back on the gate, but comes in with back-to-back 3rd-place finishes, has been facing some decent company.
Yeah, Vogue Blue Chip, not a bad player here. And Rod Boyd, pretty consistent trainer. This one's got a great shot at hitting the top 3 or 4. Definitely a high 5 player with these.
Last time out, Bozak, number 6 in here, I took him to win. And you know what? Mr. Commodore was just too good for him. He got away 2nd, but he was no threat to Mr. Commodore. But he really did race well, and he had a good start to 3 starts back. Bozak, I think, might be sitting on a really good effort.
That's a fast mile, Gary, in the latest, 54-3 and home in 29 flat. And there appears to be some pretty good gate speed. And post 6, not a bad post there at Grand River Raceway if you get some snap off the car.
And the one that you didn't leave out of your top 5 is Larjon Levi. Scotty Calder for Patrick Bissett. 8 wins last year. For so far 6 wins this year. And did win here last year. Took a mark 53-2.
Right on. I went back to the memory bank. I remember this horse from Grand River Raceway last season, 53-2. Light Best came here. So just trying to find that winning form again. Winless thus far from 6 outings.
Well, Scotty hopes that driving the levee, that the levee hasn't gone dry, because certainly was wet last year. 8 wins, none so far this year. It's Luna's Legacy, Puff's Last Shadow, and Vogue Blue Chip on the inside. Convoy 22, Larjan Levi to the outside, Bozak and Mel's Legacy and Volcanic in the second tier, Belmont Blazer. Field of 9, it's the 10th dash. Final dash. Giddy up. Field for race number 10. Gathering speed. They're at the start of the rough, and Volcanic, Mel's Legacy, and Volcanic rough stepping, and now off stride, Luna's Legacy. Convoy 22 is going to truck on through now and take the lead. Bozak is out on the outside racing second. Luna's Legacy. Bozak goes off stride. Luna's Legacy has now got that lead, racing second in behind Convoy 22. Bozak is third, and now Luna's Legacy went off stride. They race off the turn. Convoy 22 has seen all of the challengers go off stride and has got a lead of a length and a half right now. Bozak is racing second. Vogue Blue Chip third. Then Belmont Blazer and Mel's Legacy. Volcanic is now racing sixth after that early break. And then Puff's Last Shadow. And then it is back to Larjan Levi. And then way back after a break now, Luna's Legacy as the field orbits their way into the backstretch. 56-3 halftime, 29-4 second panel breather for Convoy 22. And it is a lead of a 2. Racing second, Bozak, and then Vogue Blue Chip, and racing position fourth is Mel's Legacy. Belmont Blazer is racing fifth as they race their way on towards 3/4, and Convoy 22 leading now by about 3.5, and Vogue Blue Chip racing third, Bozak, and then it is Mel's Legacy from the backfield. Larjan Levi is coming, and then Belmont Blazer and Puff's Last Shadow. Convoy 22 as the field turns for home. On down the stretch, Rob, they come. We've got ourselves a Convoy 22. Vogue Blue Chip trying to pull the late upset, but Convoy 22 wins. Vogue Blue Chip was second. Then Mel's Legacy, Larjan Levi, and Belmont Blazer 153-3. Breaker. We've got ourselves a Convoy.
One of my favorite movies growing up, Gary. Big Convoy.
We got ourselves a Convoy 22. And look, you tabbed this one as your spot play, and you were all over him. You were excited about Convoy 22. And he raced up to all of what you said about him.
Well, you know what? You said giddy up before the start, and that's just what this horse did. Convoy 22 just dropped his life best by 5 seconds, Gary.
Yeah, he was just he was one that you nailed, that was sitting on a good start, made the big move last time out, and that was really one that tipped the hand. And also, you do see at Kawartha 2 starts ago, did flash that 27-1 opening quarter, so you knew he could get off the gate, and he did it here.
Yeah, Damian McClellan, if he's got some early speed, he likes to put them on the lead. And great to see this young Maritime driver hit for the double this evening. That's his second driving win as he pairs up with Kyle Bossons for the training double.
One thing that also helped him, any challengers early in the mile kept breaking, so it kept playing out well for him.
There were troubles early for all the 1, 6, and 8. Luna's Legacy down into the safety lane. Bozak got bumpy, and outside Volcanic, a break off the car. So the 1, 6, and 8 with the trouble beginnings, that allowed Damian to get a really nice second quarter breather in there. I think it was 29-4.
I got a feeling no matter what, though, even if all of them stayed flat, I think Convoy 22 was the best in there and was riled up. But that certainly played out nice. It's nice to have some racing luck as well.
You bet. This horse was on go from the start. Little bit of luck with the 1, 6, and 8 having troubled early beginnings there. And This is probably a pretty good super high five payout if it happens to be sold.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's a fairly balanced bunch, and when you look at them, 5 to 2, 6 to 1, 11 to 1, 2 to 1, and then 7 to 2, that should pay out fairly well.
I would think. Convoy 22, nice finale there. Really nice 9 horse field.
Well, we're going to be back Friday night. I got some homework to do. You had a nice job with your picks, but I think I got a little bit of work to do. We'll talk to you again Friday evening, but right now, Convoy 22 is back in front of us. Sugar's top play of the night, and Convoy 22, 4-year-old, better than Shatterbay, gelding high stakes incorporated owns, along with Nancy McNevin. Kyle Boston's the trainer, second win this year, fourth lifetime. Convoy 22, the driving double for Damian McClellan. Tenth race payouts for Convoy 22, $7, $330, $353. Vote Blue Chip, 610, 410. 7 Mel's Legacy, 630. $2 Exactor, 3110. Dollar Try, 151.45. 20-cent High Five, 912.63. Double, 6 and 4, 376.50. We had a 20-cent pick 3 of 36.04 and a 20-cent pick 4 of 135.32 and a 20-cent pick 5 of 1496.70. Ka-ching. The 10th race order finished from the top. The 10th Fans, the 10th race order finish from the top is at 972 146 385. That is 972 146 385 on the bottom. Well, fans, that concludes the live harness racing program for this Wednesday evening. Action resumes on Friday. First race, 6:20 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Josie Bean.
Good night, Gary.